Galatians 5 verse 18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. By sharing yesterday, in a way, we cannot emulate these churches, because they are already a pool of stagnant water. It does not suit our church, which has living water. They live in a stagnant pool of water, but our church is growing. I'm planning on splitting up the Zell groups. All they have in mind are these tricks, so I don't have to use their traditional methods. That is, I have a view on the old model, know if it can be applied. And new ideas are eliminated step by step according to their circumstances. Including when I thought we'd have a relationship with the former Mother of Zion in Canada, always be a good ally. If they have financial difficulties, we will try our best to support them, even subsidize them to hire full-time co-workers. However, in this year, when I went to see Gideon Chiu with this good news, then came the Whistler incident, which caused us to split. Even that same year, we decided to open Zion Church Canada. And then, when we started to succeed, then, another church tradition arose. It's a tradition that hasn't stopped for half a century, inviting outside speakers. And the pastor went to the port. For a church in Hong Kong with only a few dozen people and a backwater, it can't work that way because there are only 30 or 40 people, at best. They go to Taiwan to study, to attend churches with hundreds of people, participating in the great revival gatherings held by Elim. They like the model. But we are already a church of 1,000 or 2,000 people. Outside speakers were also surprised by the number of people in our church. Instead, we were invited to preach in the United States, Singapore, Malaysia, etc. At that time, I started inviting outside speakers, one by one, in a series, with a list at that time. The invitation could still be repeated years later, because some speakers are invited only once a year. In this way, external speakers can continue without interruption. That's why I met Kong He at that time. Roberts Liardon introduced him to us in Hong Kong. We almost joined him in the entertainment industry. Because he and his wife are not running a church, they are producing entertainment. However, after the hydrogen peroxide event, not only the whole of Hong Kong but even all the foreign pastors I had contact with before, all cut off from us. Every successful person I admire, they all told me to talk to Dennis Balcom, the pastor of the Revival Christian Church. I asked him for forgiveness and help, showing that he could help me. This way, I found that these evil people are all teaming together. In this way, the port mode of half a century, for us, who have thousands of people and are still expanding, the practice of traveling to other places or inviting outside speakers is no longer an option. Indeed, for me, it doesn't matter if I have an outside speaker because I can handle it. As far as I know, in addition to the top 10 pastors in the world, all the guest speakers invited by the church, they must have preached better than the pastor of the church. In fact, the top 10 pastors are struggling, like Benny Hinn. Nor is every sermon full of anointing. I believe that when you listen to them, you will find that no outside speaker can match me. Even if you add up the many speakers we've invited, the quality is not as good as mine. So it is no loss to Zion that I do not invite them. On the other hand, there is no harm in inviting them. Because many churches have been doing this for half a century. Henry Hinn, in particular, invites new speakers almost every week. Tim Story, Larry Lee, Benny Hinn, Roberts Liardon, Bob Tilton, Lester Sumrall, to raise money to build a church. Although Henry Hinn kept firing some of the top pastors in Vancouver, but his church is only 250 people. By comparison, we have close to 2,000 congregants in Hong Kong. there is certainly capacity to support this model. However, the hydrogen peroxide incident cut us off from that path. They say having only one person in charge of preaching is dangerous. I later learned that it was they who were dangerous. Just imagine, with their character and quality, a group of people so despicable. Of course, it's very dangerous. If there's only one speaker for such vain, greedy, and self-loving people as these, it's dangerous. After the hydrogen peroxide incident, I realized that what they were saying was correct. This system is dangerous for the wicked. But not for me. For all to see, after 1996, I shared. As I always did, in the Spirit of God, and God hasn't stopped confirming the information we've shared over the years, even earlier information confirms it. Inviting too many outside speakers really messes up our message. As we all know, information about foreign speakers in the past is still stored in databases. However, you're not likely to listen. You will think their sharing is mediocre and must be sorted out. You can't appreciate or hear their message. In fact, at the same time in 1996, I've increased the number of outside speakers tenfold, but after 96, I terminated all invitations at once. I remember that the last speaker was John Bevere. He was a youth pastor with Benny Hinn. When we invited him to Hong Kong, then Pastor Nehemiah told him to cancel, because we can't guess what he's going to share on stage. Even so, we gave him $100,000. After all, the hydrogen peroxide incident was so sensational. Even Roberts Liardon and John Avanzini from abroad are worried. We wrote to explain the whole story. They asked me to surrender and seek salvation from the church in Hong Kong. In short, since then, we no longer invite outside speakers. Instead, it evolved into another mode of sharing. I alone share information about Sunday messages, Zell Group's messages, and Planted by Streams. Galatians 5 verse 18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law.
The way is clearer, so are you, and it's a wonderful misunderstanding, but now I finally see. The way is clearer, so are you, and it's a marvelous misunderstanding, but now I finally see the truth.